Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's training. It's, as you can see there, Tuesday training with Tom, which is more for the alliteration. Normally, Donna is here with us and answering the questions in the chat. Today, Donna is not able to join us, but we have the one and only Jhon Garcia with us today. Jhon, thanks for being with us today.
Hey Tom, how are you? Hello everyone. Yes, I know you were expecting Mrs. Donna Fox. Unfortunately today she's not able to make it. She sends her love and regards, but I'll be in the chat helping out, answering some questions and anything that you guys might need. So I'll be here, answering some questions.
Very cool. Awesome, man. Well, excited to have you here. And for all of you who are joining us around the world, give me a 5 if you can hear me, plus where you're from. Give me a 5 if you can hear me and where you're from. And let me just see if we got it. Okay, Jay heard me, Dean, Carlos. Okay, so we got Orlando, Dean. We got Cabo San Lucas, Carlos, Montreal, Pierre, UK, Derek, Maryland, Keith, Chicago, Tom, New Zealand, Selwyn, New Zealand, Peter, Amsterdam, Stephen, New Zealand, Mike, San Fran, George, Troy in Las Vegas, Australia, Jennifer, Rosemary in, I could open this up so I can see a bigger version here. Rosemary, where did Rosemary go? Oh, there we go. Wales, UK, okay. Jerry in Denver, Paul in London, Edmonton is Gary, Shelley in Portland, Oregon, Virginia is Rennell, Wolfgang in Kelowna, Canada, Denmark, Tom, Karen in the UK, Alan in Texas, Quincy, Illinois is Christy, Robert from Wisconsin, Mo in Vancouver, BC, James in Minnesota, Christopher in the UK, Kylam from Calgary, Stanford, Scott, Robert in Oregon, Jim in Tennessee, Daniel in Columbia, Saskatchewan. All right, so we got a lot here. Y'all can hear me, and it keeps going and going and going. Wow, all over the world for sure. I see Dean mentions at the bottom. All over the world we have people, and you are in for a treat today. I am super excited to give the training today, and if you can see your slide that's to kick it off, let me just preface it as to what the flow is going to be for today. Bullet point number 1: $100 million in 2 years, a copywriting formula. It's going to be a game changer. I am super excited to be sharing with you this strategy today. And then we're going to transition from sharing that formula with you to how you can profitably use this formula. What are the steps using Groove Pages, using GrooveSell, and all that's available to you? How can you take this formula, put it to work for yourself, and make it a profitable endeavor? And as you know from the trainings, I always like to simplify things. And I think once you get your hands on this formula, once you grasp this, you'll see that it's not that difficult for you to begin implementing it. So then we're going to jump into Groove Pages, do a brief live demo showing you what I would do with this formula, and hopefully inspire you to recognize that you're only one offer away from life-changing results. Now, this individual that you're going to be learning about, he didn't even know English a couple years ago, and he did $100 million in a couple years after he figured out this formula. So let's dive right in. If y'all are ready and excited about this, give me a 7. Give me a 7 in the chat if you are pumped to hear about this formula. Give me a 7. All right, here we go. 7s. I see 7s from all over the world. Everyone's here. Now here's the deal. What if you only got 1% of what this individual got in 2 years? 1% of 100 million is still a million, right? What if you only got 10% of the 1%? You know, you don't have to knock it out of the park like 100 million, but guess what? You get a 1% of what his results were, and your life will change as well. Took a sip of tea just now as we get ready to kick this off. So as you see in the slide here, let me jump over. All right, so this is something you want to pay close attention to. So if you do have questions related to Groove Pages, GrooveSell, we do have Jhon here. So go ahead and type your questions into the chat. He'll be answering as we go. Robert is a smart aleck, put 3.5. All right, here we go. So this is what we're going to be talking about. In 2 years, this gentleman created $100 million in sales. Now, that came from also 100,000 new opt-ins that he generated in one offer that he wrote using this formula. So imagine having an offer that gets 100,000 opt-ins and then converts ridiculously well into sales over the 2 years using this formula. Took his average rate of being able to produce offers and write the copy for offers in a much more fast manner, 2, to do it in a much more profitable manner, and 3, raised his percentage of success rate from around 20 to 30%, meaning he failed 70 to 80% of the time, to now he's succeeding 60 to 80% of the time using this formula. All right, so this is a real deal system that blew people's minds, and then people asked him the question, how did you do it? And it's actually, we're going to dive into this more, but you'll also learn he's someone who didn't even know English a few years ago. He's originally from Brazil. So this is me with Evaldo just a couple months ago in Delray Beach. And Evaldo is actually part of the team that my former business partner, Rich Sheffrin, is working with. So Evaldo is working with Rich in a division of Agora. And Agora is the behemoth in the information marketing world. They're a billion-dollar company per year, and they have numerous divisions. And Evaldo is the one who came in and by using this system that you're going to learn, produced $100 million in 2 years. He named it the 16-word sales letter. And I'll just start just by letting you know, it's not only 16 words. I'll simplify it for you, but the 16-word sales letter, we'll dive into it. It's one question, or I'm sorry, one premise followed by 10 questions. So in essence, we'll narrow it down and simplify it for you, but he calls it the 16-word sales letter. There's his name. It's a book by Evaldo Albuquerque, and I'm the one giving you this training today, Tom Beal. When I met with and chatted with Evaldo, he's like, yeah, by all means, share it, tell people about it and all this. He's like, just make sure, you give them the opportunity to get my book if they want it. So there is a way to go get the book if you want it at the bottom. It's going to be in the bottom of many of these slides, bit.ly/ spelled out 16 word. And it's kick butt. So we're going to dive through it, and it's not going to be the all-inclusive. I'm not going to get into everything that he covers in the book, but we're going to get into enough to where you can take it and run with it. If you want to dive deeper, you can go get the book. What he shares real briefly is the secret to converting copy is to define the one belief, then answer these 10 questions. So if we were to narrow down the 16-word sales letter to 4 words, it is literally one belief, 10 questions. So those are the 4 words that if you can just think, okay, one belief, 10 questions, and then refer back to the slides, the training, and you'll go through the questions. So we're going to dive right in. So what is the one belief? Well, the one belief is the new opportunity that you have to present to your prospects that gets your prospects to the desired outcome that they have. And it's using a new mechanism, meaning using something that isn't trite, that isn't well known, that's something that is new and triggers their mind to say, what is this? Like, wait a second, the promise is real intriguing, So for instance, Gary Halbert, years ago, one of the best copywriters of all time, said, you're only one sales letter away from changing your life. You're only one sales letter away from changing your life. As we evolve now into today's world, you're only one offer away from your life-changing results. You're only one sales letter, as Gary Halbert said, you're only one webinar away. You're only one offer away. You're only one video sales letter. You're only one, campaign. You're only one funnel away from life change, right? So if you're thinking about your particular target audience, your niche, and you go through the empathy map, one of the trainings that if you haven't watched, I highly recommend you go into and find that training. so that you can enter the conversation that's going on in your prospects' minds. What is their desire? What keeps them up at night? What are their fears, their worries, their concerns? And how can you present a new opportunity that gets your prospects to their desired outcome following the new mechanism? And if you've studied any other copywriters, you may have heard some people call it the big idea. Some may have called it the unique mechanism. The name that if they Google it, they can't just go find a YouTube video that shows them how to do it. It's your unique name where they can only get it from you. And it's something they've never heard before, but it's got a big enough promise that gets their attention, makes them pay attention and say, wait a second, what is this? I need to know more and learn more. So it begins with that one belief. One of the things that he talks about in the book, when he's talking about the one belief, is something he calls the commander's intent. So going back to military discussion, so the commander's intent is they draft up a plan and say, here's where we are, here's where we're looking to go, but they know plans rarely go to plan. So right from the bat, they say, here's the commander's intent. All things put aside, here's the main objective. Here's the desired outcome. So you need to have a commander's intent for your message that summarizes it into a one belief that shows your people a new opportunity, gets them to your prospect's desired outcome, and is the new mechanism that's something they may never have heard before, yet it intrigues them to want to dig further. So let me just back up and say that while you're inside Groove Pages, Groove Sell, and you're figuring this out with your opt-in page, with your videos, with your sales copy, your commander's intent is to share your one belief, to share your big idea with the people who cross paths with it enough to get their attention, gain their interest, get them desirous to learn more, and have them willing to take action. So if it's an opt-in page, your commander's intent is what must I say to get them to say, here's my email, I want what you're promising me. If you're on a sales page, what must you say for them to say, holy cow, I can't believe it's only that much. Here's my credit card. Like, and you have to think, what and how can I share this one belief in a manner that they get it, they aren't confused, they grasp it, and they recognize this is it. This is what I've been looking for. So it begins with that one belief. And obviously he goes a bit deeper in the book, but this is where it begins. What's your one belief? And sometimes that one belief is counterintuitive, meaning everyone thinks it's one way, but with your one belief, for instance, and this isn't true, but how to lose 30 pounds eating cake only. You're going to eat cake till you're sick of cake, but you're going to lose 30 pounds. Like, it just like boggles their mind. They can't believe it, and they got to look more. That's a ridiculous example, but you get the counterintuitive element with that, hopefully. All right, so it begins with the one belief. You have to ask yourself, what's my one belief that is new? They haven't heard it before. It gets them to the desired outcome, and it's through a unique new mechanism that they can't get anywhere else, only from me. Then we dive into the 10 questions. All right, so do you get it? Like, give me a 3 if you get that it starts with the one belief. Give me a 3 if you're following along so far. Okay, threes. Okay, good. Okay, so that one belief. And now the good part about this is, all right, great, lots of feedback, lots of 3s. The good part about this is you can go look in your market and you can see what your competitors are saying, what the marketplace has as the discussion that's occurring. And if you can take a look at that and find the gap, what are they missing? And here's what's being discussed, but here's the element they're missing. That's your one belief. That's the gap in the marketplace that you can sneak in and say, wait, time out. Everyone's talking about this, talking about that. They're not bringing this up. And this is the linchpin. This is the foundation to get the results that you're looking for that everybody's missing. Here it is. And then you give it your unique mechanism. You give it your own name. Evaldo's in this case is the 16-word sales letter. Mike years ago, Mike Filsame had butterfly marketing was his unique mechanism. It was something new. It got the prospects the promises, how to grow your opt-in list and how to monetize your list as it grows. And he called it butterfly marketing, right? So what's your thing that can get people's attention in your marketplace? Then we dive into the 10 questions. And this is where you want to pay close attention. Question number 1, how is this different from everything else I've seen? Right? You don't want to be more of the same. People aren't going to get all hyped up if I have a health product that tells people how to lose weight, which is eat healthier / less and move more. Right? That's not different from what they already know, right? How's this different from everything else I've seen? So there is, yeah, there's one health analogy that he mentions in his book, and I forgot the daggone name of it. It's a DVD series, and it sold like a huge amount. But basically, he said the premise of that particular DVD thing was muscle confusion, right? They came up with the term like you have to confuse your muscles. You can't keep doing the same routine. You gotta. This is we use muscle confusion in this. And what do people hear? Like, whoa, I've never heard that. So that was his big idea that was different from everything else they've seen or heard. Muscle confusion. What the heck is that all about? I got to figure out what this is. And there's a long list of examples he gives in the book, but you have to think about your product, your niche. How can this be different from everything else that's in the marketplace? That counterintuitive stance, that's something that they aren't used to hearing and maybe have never heard before. So the first question, how is this different from everything else I've seen? And obviously we're speaking from the perspective of your prospects and your clients. So you as the creator of your video, of your sales copy, of the flow that people that come into your world, how and what are you doing to make yours different from everything else they're used to? All right. So question number 1, how is this different from everything else I've seen? Question number 2, what's in it for me? That's the radio station everyone tunes into, right? WIIFM. What's in it for me? So, okay, here's why it's different. And what that means to you is this, right? So you've heard of features and benefits. Well, this is the benefit to the benefit. Okay, so what's in it for me? When you do this thing that is different from everything else you've seen, how and what is that going to get them to the goal, to the desired outcome? And what's that going to mean? What's the payoff for them? How's their life going to be different when they implement and gain the benefits and the results from your unique solution? So I like to term that payoff. You know, what's the payoff? What's in it for me? How's my life going to be different? Personally, professionally, emotionally, you know, all the different elements that you can tie into so they can have the 5 senses, the touch, feel, taste, smell, you know, paint that picture for them of that future that's waiting for them when they reap the benefits from getting what you have. What's in it for me? Third question. How do I know this is real? Right? This is where you have to back it up with proof. There's a lot of bold claims out there, but this is where you back it up with proof. And there's many different methods to get proof. Evaldo goes into his book into many different routes of how you can make that proof feel doable and attainable by the new people that have crossed paths with you. So that's where testimonials come into play. That's where some reports from other experts may have pointed out this unique mechanism, this new method that you have introduced to people, and have, you know, the experts in the field backing it up and stating in their own research and experiments how that works so amazingly well. Testimonials. And the one thing with testimonials, this is something that Mike Filsame and I learned a long time ago, is you want the proof to not, like for instance, okay, if we're talking about a health thing and you want to get people in shape, you don't want a picture of somebody who's a bodybuilder of like, yeah, I gained, an extra inch of muscle, like, because people looking at that bodybuilder like, well, holy crap, I'm not that. So maybe that person can do it, but I can't do it. You want proof for the average everyday person. And you want to get as much diverse proof as possible from moms, from dads, from grandparents, from all different cross sections of everyday people, so that the ones that are looking at it, they're going to see someone that they can relate to. Oh, that person's just like me. If she can do it, I can do it. If he can do it, I can do it. So think about that. How do I know this is real? When you're looking for the proof, the one thing in this world that people are looking for is, show me someone who I can feel is just like me that made it work in a financial situation. I don't have an MBA. I don't have a financial background. Show me an everyday person who didn't know much about investing, who used your system and then went on to become extremely wealthy. Right? Don't show me some guy who used to be a stockbroker and then he had success. I want to see an everyday average person. So remember, you want your people to think as you're showing the proof, the testimonials, the research, all that you can do to back that up, those claims. Holy cow, if that person can do it, they're just like me. I can do it. That's the feel you want. You don't want them to say, well, of course that person can do it. Look at them. They're like freaking Superman or Wonder Woman. Like, of course they can do it. I don't think I can. That's not what you want. With the proof, you want to make them feel, if that person can do it, I can do it. So always keep that in mind. All right. The pace. How am I doing? Y'all keeping up with me? Give me a 7 if the pace is good. Give me a 7 if you're good. Okay. 7s. I see them. 8. All right. Perfect.
Yeah, there's a lot
7s.
of
All right.
7s.
Go ahead, Jhon.
Yeah, there's a lot of 7s and 8s, so we have people keeping up the pace.
Yes. All right. Good. And yes, I see someone filled in my brain fart there. P90X. That's the one. Craig Perrine. What's up, brother? Good to hear you. Good to see you here. Yeah, P90X was the one about muscle confusion. That's the one. So I see some other comments here. Okay. Bit.ly doesn't appear to be working. Good question. Bit.ly / spell it out, SIXTEEN WORDS. Hopefully that works.
Yeah,
It
actually,
worked when I
Tom, I am actually
tested it.
fixing it, and I'm gonna put it in the chat box for everybody to
Okay.
go in there.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect. And there's someone asked, Paul asked, will there be a replay? Yes, these are going to be available for you. Okay, good, good, good. All right, so lots of good feedback here. All right, good. So everyone's keeping up. Good stuff. All right, so back to this $100 million formula in 2 years. So that question, how do I know this is real? And that's where you share the proof and keep the proof in mind. You don't want to have someone who's, an Albert Einstein level brain that makes others feel, of course, that person can do it, but I can't, or whatever other skills are there. You want the everyday average person to feel from the proof that you share, if those people can do it, surely I can do it. And obviously, you get people that, I mean, you may even see this, or some people say, my 13-year-old daughter did this, right? My 13-year-old B student daughter, who's not a genius level, she followed the system and produced these results. If she can do it, you can do it. You want to keep that in mind. How can you show proof that makes people feel, holy cow, I can do this? I know I can do this. This is what I've been looking for. All right. So next question. What's holding me back? And this is where you reveal the real problem and give them hope. So this you may have seen in many copy wording where it's not your fault, right? You didn't know about this in that P90X example with the muscle confusion. It's not your fault if you tried all the other workouts, but chances are you didn't confuse your muscles enough, and that's why you didn't get the results that you were looking for. So what's holding you back? A, you didn't know about this yet. Now that you know this, and B, once you follow our proven plan and system, of course you're going to finally get there. When of course you didn't get there yet because you didn't know this. And then you reveal the real problem and give them hope. And so that's kind of like what people think is the problem. There's another layer to that. Here you think this is the problem, but once we show you, there's levels deeper than that to show you the real problem. Once you handle the real problem, the problem you feel has been holding you back goes away because you got down and handled it at a deeper level. And you're now giving them hope. It's not your fault. Like you've tried all these other things and weren't able to get to the finish line. Well, the good news is now that you're in the know and are now aware of this and you follow our system, you're going to get there in record speed. You know, and this is going to be, you're going to be our next testimonial. You've seen all the, from the last question, you've seen all the proof that we've had already. You're next. That reminds me of Bill Phillips' challenge back in the 90s, Body for Life. Whoever knew of that, give me a 5 if you ever heard of Bill Phillips' Body for Life. Give me a 5 if you ever saw that. 5, yep. Some people saw it. If you haven't seen that, that's a great case study. I would go Google Body for Life. Yes, EAS, Keith, EAS back in the day for sure. But that was brilliant marketing. And funny enough, Adam still uses the cookbook. Well done. Funny enough, that was brought up from a good friend, Joe Polish. Joe Polish is the one who told Bill Phillips to do that. And Bill did it and executed it brilliantly because the whole premise was, do this for 90 days, take your before picture, take your after picture, and you'll win. Like they gave away Corvettes, they gave away his Lamborghini one time for the people who got the biggest transformation in that 90-day period. So go Google Body for Life and you'll see a brilliant example of proof. And then also the whole what's holding me back. You didn't have a competition that gave you a true 90-day window with potential to win ridiculous cash prizes and other prizes. And you didn't have the system that we have. And obviously, as someone pointed out, Bill Phillips owned at the time the company EAS, who sold the supplements. So he created the challenge, he created the book, all with the eye on the prize of getting people to buy his products from his company, his nutrition company, EAS. And from doing that, he was able to sell it for a ridiculously large number, a nice financial exit for him selling the company. But it goes back to following these questions. So the good news is you can go and study other success stories from the past and say, hey, how and what could I do to emulate that? So Bill Phillips, Body for Life, you'll find the book, you'll find videos, you'll find contests from the mid to late 90s. And it was brilliant marketing. And a good friend, Joe Polish, was the one who actually gave him those good insights. It's a fun story. All right, so give your people hope. Show them that now knowing what they know and following the system and process that you'll be able to put them through, there's nothing holding them back. They now can regain hope in themselves and overcome what they thought was the problem by handling the real problem that they didn't even know about until crossing paths with you. All right, next question. Who or what is to blame? Us versus them. Now they're part of a special group, and now there's a common enemy. Man, there's nothing more powerful than having an us versus them, to having that common enemy and being able to point at, whatever it is. I mean, you could even have a common enemy if we're using the health theme here. It's always a big industry. You could point the common enemy of convenience foods, right? Or common enemy of processed foods, and that's the common enemy. These, and go after those big conglomerates who just crank out this processed food, these convenience foods, which are killing you and holding you back from attaining the physique and confidence and energy that you deserve in your life, right? So the enemy could be those large companies, Kraft, and et cetera, that are making all those processed foods that are killing you and holding you back from your dreams. And it's convenient, it's easy, yet they're the problem. Come over to us. break away from that common enemy and watch how your life changes, right? So the enemy doesn't have to be a person. It doesn't have to be a group of people. It can be a company, an industry. Who is the them in your world, and how can that be the common enemy that you're pointing the finger like, yeah, that was the problem, and people in our group, we stay away from that, and we help others who don't know yet recognize the bad that enemy is doing, and now become part of our special group. And creating that us versus them is super powerful. So think about that in your particular niche. Who or what can you point the blame at, and build a community that breaks away from that, and helps others break away from that to join your special group? The common enemy is definitely a powerful question. So think about that. Who or what is to blame? Next question. Why now? And you give them an either or scenario, and you have to trigger FOMO, which is fear of missing out. So why now? And so when you get the why me was covered in the proof and covered in all the other questions, but now why now? Why is now the time? And you have to point them down that path of like, this is the dividing line. Like, if you don't make a choice now, that future version of you, chances are good you may never cross paths with it. It's now or never. Why is it so important? Because if you don't have them make that decision now, you may have been someone who done this. I know I have many times, and I've talked about it in some other trainings. Whenever I've said to myself, I'll get back to this, I'll get back to this later, I'll get to this tomorrow. Guess what happens? Tomorrow never comes. I'll get back to this email later. I'll come back to this sales page another day. And then the browser shuts down and you lose all those tabs that were open, and you can't even remember what tabs you had open, but you remember, man, there was something there. I remember saying it was something I was interested in. I can't remember what the heck it was. Right? You have to seize that moment, and you have to show to your prospects in your sales letter, in your video, why now is so important. Now or never. Either you're going to make this choice or forever hold your peace. Right? Fear of missing out. If you delay it another day, you'll wake up a year or a decade from now, and it's been delayed now for the rest of your life. Now is the time that you deserve to get on this right path. When now is the right time to take action, right? So you have to think of how can you frame it and help them understand that there's no putting this off. They're here for a reason. They must make the choice now. All right. I'm jumping over to see if there's any feedback here. I see some, so type your questions. I'm not able to get to them all. I'm pretty into this. Here's some good question. Do you find people have become desensitized to the fear of missing out due to so many overused scarcity tactics? From Alicia. Alicia, yes. Well, here's where, when you follow this framework of the questions that we're going through, psychologically, they're going to see the proof, like, and they're going to hopefully resonate with some examples of the proof that you use. Like, man, if Terry could do that, I can do that. Well, she has a family of 5. Like, if she can pull it off, I can pull it off, right? So they're kind of embracing, through following this flow and following these questions, that they can do it, and they wouldn't be there. Like, here's something that I can recall. Like, after I got out of the United States Marine Corps, went to a college, and while I was in college after the Marine Corps, I was also working selling cars. And there's an analogy that nobody is just pulling on the car lot to waste some time. In the car industry, they call it kicking tires. No one comes out to kick tires, to be harassed by the salespeople. They're looking to buy a car. And I would ask you to think about this. Do you ever, like, driving around with a friend, like, hey, we got an hour to kill. Let's just drive into a car lot and be harassed by the car salesman. That'll be fun. No, when you're not looking for a car, you aren't driving on the daggum sales lot. And same thing applies in my perspective, that if they're following along in your video, and they're getting to this question and you're explaining why now, they're committed. They're not there just to waste time at this point. Alicia and others here, is my perspective. Look, you're here for a reason. You wouldn't be at this part of the video if you knew that it wasn't your time for change right now. If nothing changes, nothing changes. And I'm making the presupposition that you're still here watching this video because you know that you're capable of more. You know that there is a better version of you. You know you're capable of whatever that desired outcome is. And not only do you know it, I know it, and I believe that it's capable for you to achieve that as well. And I know, and I'm confident you can probably be one of my best case studies ever. You saw a lot of proof earlier. You saw a lot of people. You may have resonated with some of them, but I want your story. You're the next story that I want. Are you willing to be the person to make that happen? Imagine your transition. Imagine your results inspiring someone else. Right? So paint that future vision for them. So it's literally a transfer of belief. And so I don't think they're desensitized to it as long as it's just not a vague promise and you keep moving forward. Like if you're able to express it in a manner, they're gonna sense it. Like and they can feel your energy. Like Nikola Tesla has a quote that he says, if you want to know the secrets of the universe, study energy, frequency, and vibration. So this goes back to a training I did a while ago about belief. You need to have belief in your company, your products, your service, and yourself. And when you have that belief at a level, and you're here answering these questions at the level that is just you don't just believe it, you know it. So if you're here watching this, I know that your life is about to change. You know it, I know it, and I know now is the time that you're ready to take action. You wouldn't be watching this video up to this point if that weren't the case. So they're able to sense that belief. They're able to sense that knowing. And when you push them out of their comfort zone, when you push them to take action, they're definitely going to move forward. Right. So I don't feel they're desensitized to where if they see just a bland, they don't feel it. Of course, they're going to pass right over it. But if they feel it, they're going to feel it's time for me to move forward. I know there's more for me to accomplish. All right, so there's that. All right, Jim, Semper Fi, Semper Fi. All right. Okay. Here's a great question from Mo. I like this training, found this format to create your VSL. How long should I make the VSL to cover all these questions? And Mo, this is something that I've answered and Donna's answered several times, but it's always good to remind people. The question is, how long should the sales copy be? How long should the video be? And the answer is confusing at first, but here's the answer. As long as it needs to be for your prospects to get it and say, yes, I want this. For some people, the promise is so big and the answers are so concise and make sense and the energy transferred so well, it can be 5 minutes. For others, it can be a 2-hour webinar. It can be, anywhere between, a sales letter, a one-line sentence can be enough to get the sale of someone giving the email. And then once they give the email, I mean, it could be a 3-minute video. Hey, you're here because you're looking for this. Guess what? We have that. Here's all. Normally it's this price. We have it for here. Enter your information below. Like, how long is it for people to get it and say, holy cow, this is exactly what I'm looking for. This gets me to the goal line. This gets me to the desired outcome that I was looking for. I'm in. Right. So in some cases, that's 5 minutes. Other cases, it can be 5 hours for some things, but generally, hour and a half would be like a great as long as you'd probably want to go, is my opinion. Hour and a half, and that's from stage presentations. You're able to share the training, you're able to get people engaged, follow along, get some good value, and then know, hey, if this is what I get for the free, imagine what I'm going to get when I join this. Right? So the answer isn't as cut and dry as most people like, but it long enough until someone can make the decision, the affirmative decision that you're searching for. All right, so I see someone said that they lost audio and they can't hear me if they lost audio, but give me a 3 if you still have audio and you can hear me. Hopefully I'm not talking to myself here. Okay, good. Y'all can still hear me. Good. So,
Yeah, no, I checked and everything is probably some momentary
okay.
quality
So
sound, but
if you could send Patrick a message, a text message, let him know others still can hear. So, oh, Patrick's here. Patrick, okay, I see it's working
yep.
now. Perfect, good. All right, good. So we're here. We're being cognizant of everybody, and I'm smiling and laughing as I say it because, good Lord, I probably trained for hours when no one could hear me over the years. So I'm glad to hear y'all can hear me. Okay, so back to the training. There's more questions to go through. So why now? The either or scenario and trigger that fear of missing out. So fear of missing out, man, it still works for the people that are looking for the desired outcome, that they're on your page and they're watching your video, they're reading your text, they're listening to you for a reason. They're not there just killing time. So when you embrace that and take away that lesson I learned in the car industry, same thing applies online. Especially think of people's attention spans nowadays. If they're there, I mean, most people will watch a video only for a few seconds, and if it's not intriguing to them, they'll bounce. So if they're there for minutes, they're there for a reason, and it's up to you to convey that and keep it intriguing and keep it fun and engaging to a point where you're not going to bore them, right? So the other element, like I'm working on a huge project. I can't share details other than it's huge and it's really fun. And so there was a 25-minute video, and someone said, "Well, is that too long?" And I answered the same type of question. Well, if it's boring, yes, it's too long. If it's engaging, no, it's not too long, right? So there's no cut and dry yes and no answers. Like, is your video engaging? Is your messaging engaging? If it is, and you can keep it going for 90 minutes, and that's how long it takes to share that message properly, to not cut any corners and not speed through it, then do it. But if it's 10 minutes and not long enough for them to make the proper decision, you need to modify it, right? So and here's the other reality. It's all a hypothesis and a test until the marketplace decides. So you get that video out there, as long as it needs to be from your perspective, yet the sales aren't coming in. So something isn't working, something isn't resonating with the and obviously you have to get the proper amount of people. So you want ideally a couple hundred visitors to get data that's worthwhile. But after a couple hundred people have looked at it, you should have, it's not that, I mean, you're not doing too shabby if you got a cold traffic scenario and you're getting 1, 3, or 5% sales from a video. That's pretty darn good, right? If you got warm recommended traffic and you're getting 5, 7, 10%, that's not too shabby, right? It's up to you to work your dynamic and figure out what your groove is, but you can make a very significant amount of income with 1% conversion. 100 visitors and you get one sale, you can make a killing. So it's different for every industry, but you need to know your numbers, like what's good, what's bad, what needs improvement. Okay, so now we're moving on to some next questions. Next question: why should I trust you? Right? Okay, you made all these bold promises, you showed all this proof, you showed what's in it for me, you showed me why I need to take action now. Why should I trust you? And then this is where you have to come up with that storyline of like, okay, who am I and why should you care? Right? I'm here because I was this. I've been in your shoes. I was, 80 pounds heavier a couple years ago and said enough is enough. And I went down this path of exploring all these different paths just like you, and nothing was working. I was like, what am I missing? So I came up with this whole system, right? So there's that been in your shoes type of scenario. There's there's a whole bunch of different storylines. You have to pick which one works for you. The Robin Hood, right? Doing it for the good of, the Robin Hood scenario, stealing from the rich, giving to the poor type stuff. Like, look, it's a mission. It's my mission to go do this. Or you happen to be an expert in this field, and you took a look, and you're like, look, all these people are doing the best they think they can, but they're misleading people and they're putting people down a long path that really has a long shot chance of ever occurring and ever happening. So as an expert, I couldn't sit on the sidelines and watch so many people get misled. So I stepped in, what's your story? And people want to know your story because they want to know, like, and trust you, right? How can you tell your story in a compelling manner? So now they get it. They see why you're so passionate about this. They understand it, and they want to be able to be a part of that story. So for you, what's that story that you can share that gets people to know, like, and trust you, and eventually love you and be appreciative that you did what you did. All right. So next question. All right, great. How's it work? How's it work? Exactly how it gives them what is promised in an exciting way. So here's what's going to happen, right? So when you place this order, you're going to immediately brought in, and here's what's going to happen. You're going to get this, and it's up to you to discern how much, right? How much do you share? But they need to know, um, uh, and future pace them into what's going to occur, and it gives them what's promised, and it gets them jazzed up and excited. And so, as I said this, and I'm thinking about this, who remembers the blue blocker commercials back in the late 80s? Joe Sugarman. I ended up being friends with Joe. He's a great dude. Joe Sugarman shared it. Blue blocker. Give me a Y if you remember the blue blocker commercial. So yes, okay, blue blocker commercials. Yep, Joe Sugarman's brilliant, awesome dude, and they sold a ton of this. So this is kind of funny. So how does it work? This is different than what I think you'd want to do, but here's the key with blue blocker. They never showed like a camera looking through the blue blocker lenses, but they showed people putting it on and their response. Right? Remember that? Like, oh my God, like it's like I'm seeing with new eyes. I can't believe this. And so what did that do? It showed how it worked. I mean, you simply put the glasses on and you'll be amazed. And what did that do? That jacked up the intrigue. And what it do? It made people want to call the daggum phone number and order it so they could look through the glasses and see how they felt. Right. So that was showed them how's it work. You put them on and you're going to be blown away. Look what other people are saying. That goes back to the proof. But they never put the camera behind the lens and showed what it would look like from your experience of viewing it, which led to more intrigue. So as you're showing them how it works, you can keep certain elements in this. And so when you get to step 4, this is the real secret. That and you share some testimonials. Oh my goodness, when I got to step 4, I couldn't believe how amazing that was. Like, so you can always leave some elements of intrigue. You don't have to outline everything for them, but you want to carve a path that, picture this, that they're on one side of a stream and you have rocks strategically embedded on that path to get from one side of the stream to the other, and you're on the side that they want to be. So you want them to see that there is a path for them to take that gets them excited, gets them pumped up, and has them envisioning the other questions that we talked about. What's in it for me? Like, they're now picturing, yeah, that's what's waiting for me when I go down this path. And they're excited and pumped about it. So how does it work? And you want to set that expectation and show them what that means and how it's going to unfold. All right. How can I get started? And this is, he actually brings this up in the book. Another good friend of mine, Todd Brown, he brings up Todd's SIN offer: superior, irresistible, no-brainer offer. So at this point, look, you're probably asking yourself, holy crap, I can't wait to get started. What do I do? Well, here's what we've got for you. And you make your offer superior and irresistible. It's an absolute no-brainer that they're excited to get. And I added with value stack, right? You may have seen, so you're going to get this, which has this value, and you're going to get this, which has a total value of this. Well, you're not going to pay that. You're going to only pay Your investment is only, put an X to that, it's only this. And you want it to be so ridiculous that it is an absolute irresistible offer. Holy crap, I can't believe I'm only investing this amount of money for all that I'm getting. And think about a scale, like the old, the judge scale, right? You put weight on it, like the value far outweighs the investment. And that's pretty much every sale that's made. We have the money. Is the money worth the offer? You want to make it so irresistible that they can't even believe they're getting it for that amazing price. And you walk them through how to get started. So simply below, you're going to see, and you walk them through everything. So this is, as you can see, this is a secure site. Your information is confidential here. You can choose to either enter a credit card or use your PayPal. And within minutes, you're going to have access to all that you see here. You're going to get access to this with the value of this. You're going to get access to this with the value of this. You're going to get access to this, the value of this. Total value, large number. But as we discussed, today you're not going to pay that. Boom, boom. Here's the reason why, right? We want you to be our next testimonial. You saw how simple this is. You saw following the process, following our step-by-step formula, you're going to get to the other side of this river. We're here to guide you. Boom, and it's irresistible. And going back and looking at your marketplace and looking at other marketplaces, you can see offers that were irresistible to you, and you can go emulate those for your particular offer. You want to ask yourself, how can I make this so ridiculous that you want people thinking, I don't even know how they're making money with this. Like, with how much value I'm getting, I don't even understand how they're making money, but I'm going to take it because it's too good to pass. Right? You want people like, how are they doing this? How are they able to give me so much value for so little? And that's where you have to come up with reason whys. Right? And the reason why, if you study Dr. Robert Cialdini's book, Influence, it doesn't need to be an earth-shattering reason why. It's like, look, the reason I'm doing this special offer is I have friends and family that are severely impacted by this coronavirus situation and the lockdown, the subsequent lockdown. And right, so normally this value is $2,000. And you know what? I know that's out of reach for many of my friends and family, and I don't want anyone to miss out on this. So I'm giving it for only 2 payments of $97. And yeah, everyone's telling me I'm crazy. And yes, it's, if this weren't the times that we're in, there's no way I could make this work. But it's my way of just paying it forward. So this offer won't be around forever. Once we get back to the new normal, it's going to go away, most likely get back to the original normal pricing. But if you're seeing this right now, congratulations. You're getting the $2,000 worth of value for only 2 payments of $97. Take it while you can. And yes, take advantage of me. And yes, you get all that was discussed. You get the guarantee, you get nothing to lose and everything to gain. Take advantage today, right now. If you come back in a few hours and it's gone, my apologies, but I reward people who take action now. Things along those lines. All right, make it superior, make it irresistible, make it no brainer. Do the value stack. It works for a reason. Let me jump in here.
Yes, Tom,
Okay.
we do have a question from Irene Manson. She has a very interesting question that a lot of
Sure.
people will get some value from it if you want to read it out.
Okay, sure. Okay, so, all right, Irene Manson. Doesn't it undermine value when you show thousands of dollars of value and you don't? Like in the early days of mobile phones, no perceived value because they were zero, only paid for the plan. Irene, that one example I just used is just one example. You have to use your discernment of what works in your particular marketplace. What I will say is this: people love getting special deals. They love getting amazing deals. So there's a picture that I'll share with you. Y'all picture this. Back when we had malls open and stuff, picture there's this red pumps. There's these red pumps in the women's shoe department. $100, and there's nobody around there. Nobody around. The red pumps crossed off today only $25, and everyone's lined up getting the red pumps. right? People love specials. People love deals, right? Um, and there's a whole bunch of ways to do it online. You can use coupon codes. Hey, uh, I, I'm a friend of Irene's, and you'll see when you get to her page that her product is, whatever price, $1,000. Well, I've worked a special deal as a friend of Irene's. She said anybody that I recommend to her is going to get a 25% discount, but you have to use the special coupon code. Use uh, Tom, use in the coupon code, type in friend of Tom. Friend of Tom automatically gets you 25%, right? People like specials. People like deals. People like feeling like they're getting a better deal than the other people, right? So it's up to you to position that, and how and what can you do to make, I mean, that's one of numerous strategies. It's not the only strategy of discounting price like that to make a superior, irresistible, no-brainer offer, but it's one of many strategies. You just have to make people feel like, holy cow, the value far outweighs what I'm investing in this. Does that make sense? So yeah, it's not a one size fits all. That was just a random example, but with the value stack, um, it works tremendously well on webinars, at live events, in video sales letters, and all you need is a reason why. And you can stack and with value stacks. I mean, it even occurred, like, think back to PBS specials with Wayne Dyer. Wayne Dyer always called it the whole enchilada, right? So you can get just the cassettes, or you can get just the CDs. This is going back a ways, right? Um, for this, or you can get the book just for this, or you can get the book, the CDs, the DVDs, the whole enchilada for a package price. And the package price is generally less than if they bought everything separately. Does that make sense? So give them a reason as to, here's why you're getting all this, and what that special is for you. Paul, I see a question here too. I see how it works with digital products, but how can you make such an irresistible offer with physical products like supplements and still stack the value with other products? That's a great question. And this is just like I said with the other one. This isn't a one size fits all, but you have to use your imagination and think, okay, if people are getting all this, what's something else that I can add in addition? So if you can get the one bottle, but if you get 3 bottles, we throw in this extra video training, which on its own sells for $197. This is a whole seven part video series which shows you how to get this desired result. It normally sells on its own. You get that as a free bonus when you order 3 bottles, or you get this special report, or you get you can add in stuff that is something of value when they reach certain milestones, or when they do some sort of combination. It's up to you to create, use your imagination, create that superior, irresistible offer. And with physical products, there are hard costs, right? With digital products, not so much. But with physical products, you still can add in digital products, or you can add in other things that are of not much cost, that can make the value stack look larger, because the retail is a lot, but it's not much as far as wholesale cost. All right. So it's up to us to use our imagination. And Tom Anderson says, yes, test, test, test. And Robert says, a free gift with purchase. Yes. All right. And Dean says, in Amazon sales, it's referred to as bundling. Yes. So yes, it's up to you to take a look at the marketplace, all of the different possibilities, and create an offer that's just not like everybody else's, right? What can you do to separate yours from the rest? And that can be other digital things that they get, or a membership site, or a Facebook group that they're now able to access. It could go into a wide variety of value and offers that add to make it more than just normal. Okay, next question. What do I have to lose, right? If they don't move forward right now, what do they have to lose? Like, if they don't do anything, What's that going to look like? If, you know, and this once again isn't a one size fits all in this scenario, but you know, they pretty much are going to have three options. You can do nothing, right? And if nothing changes, nothing changes. It's going to be more of the same. Or you can try to figure this out on your own, right? You can go to YouTube, you can go Google and try to figure this out. But how's that been working for you so far, right? You know, or you can let me do the heavy lifting. You can let me, my team, my systems, my process guide you. And as you saw, it's if you're willing to do the small amount that we've asked, you're going to get the big results that are waiting for you, just like you saw everyone else. And once again, going back to some other questions that we answered earlier, you wouldn't be here at this stage if you weren't ready for change, right? I know that you recognize more of the same is going to just be more of the same. And you wouldn't be here at this point if you knew now wasn't your time. Now is your time for change. You recognize if nothing changes, nothing changes. And you're still here because you know now is your time for change. And you also recognize that you're human, just like me and everyone else. If we try to do it on our own, yeah, we could, and it's possible, but it's going to be a lot longer than if I have someone guiding me every step of the way, and my team, my systems, my process, doing exactly what you saw we're able to do to help get you to that end result much more quickly, efficiently, effectively than someone trying to do it on their own. Right? So what do they have to lose? And it's up to you to really go down that process. There's a process that Tony Robbins goes into on his 3-day Unleash the Power Within training called the Dickens process. And the Dickens process goes as deep as you can possibly go into what do I have to lose? Like your life is going to be, your life's going to fall apart. Like your wife's going to leave you, your husband's going to leave you, your kids are going to hate you, you're going to get sick, and you're going to die lonely, and no one cares, right? You go down this path of like all of your worst fears come to reality. Like that's taking it to the extreme, but how and what can you get people to see following your product, your services, your systems? They're going to get to the glory, you know, the heaven aspect. Not following it and not doing anything, and if they don't take the actions, it's going to lead them to their worst nightmare, right? And how can you do that in a manner that they can future pace themselves of getting the results if they finally make the change and make the right choice and get into your products, your services, your guidance, or throw their life away and have a living hell if they don't, right? And you know, obviously, use your discernment in how you can leverage that. But seriously, what do they have to lose? And dig deep into that. You know, if they do nothing, what's that look like? If they try to do it by themselves, well, they've already seen how that's worked out so far. Or finally, tap into the right process, the system, the team, the company, the services, the products that does most of it for you. You just make that commitment and place your order today. We'll take care of the rest. We're going to guide you every step of the way. Right? So what do they have to lose? Focus in on that. And those are the 10 questions. That's the 10th one. What do I have to lose? Right? So let me go back and we'll recap the 10 questions real quickly. Question number 1. Well, first you have the one belief. Remember, it starts with the one belief. Question number 1. How's this different from everything else I've seen? Question 2. What's in it for me? 3. How do I know this is real? So you show the proof. Make them feel if they can do it, I can do it. 4. What's holding me back? It's where you reveal the real problem and give them hope. 5. Who or what is to blame? The us versus them. Part of a special group, a common enemy. 6. Why now? The either or scenario. Make them feel that they're going to have a fear of missing out. This is their time. The 6, I lost count. 6, why should I trust you? This is where you figure out your storylines. Ben in your shoes, Robin Hood, expert, a whole bunch of different scenarios that you can pick. 7, how does it work? Exactly how it gives them what is promised in an exciting way. 8, how can I get started? What's your sin offer? Your superior, irresistible, no-brainer offer with a value stack that just makes it like, holy crap. I had no intentions on getting this, but it's too good to pass up. I've been there, you've been there, we've all been there. How can you make your offer that good? Like, crap, like, man, I really didn't have any intention of getting this, but this is too good to pass up. What do we got? Oh, this is 10. Okay, this is 10. That was 9. What do I have to lose? 3 options. Do nothing, do it by yourself, let me do the heavy lifting. And then, so now what to do with this highly effective formula as a GrooveFunnels member? We're going to dive into that before we get into some Q&A. So what to do is now you go into your GrooveFunnels, right? And I'm going to log into there. Let me go up to the sharing here, make sure I share the right page. Okay, sharing. Google Chrome. Here we go.
And Paul, we do have a couple of questions on the actual GrooveFunnels, and once you're logged in, it will be cool if we can take a look at those.
Okay, cool. Yep, I'm logged in. Can you see me inside the Groove pages there? So here we are. This is my little Groove pages area. So depending on what you have set up, I mean, right away, if you don't have a site, I mean, once you're logged in, I mean, pretty much, let me go back to the main area. Once you're logged in, here is the main page that you get to. And we'll jump in. So you got your affiliate program, what's in the upgrade, get started. Over here on the left side is where you can access all the different elements. Where you want to go is Groove Pages. And this is where you can take that 10-step, well 16-word sales letter, the one, the big idea plus the 10 questions, and then you create a new site. And you don't click on blank template, you pick the template that you feel fits your needs best, and you choose it, and then you begin creating it and crafting your message. And so it can be as complex or simple as necessary for your particular situation. But I'll show you a real quick one. I mean, this one's pretty simple. So, and you can always click preview or select. So you can click preview. You're going to see this has a video area as well as other copy below it, right? So this is a combination of asking yourself, okay, this is pretty simple, right? So I have a video, I'll have a headline, I'll have some setup headlines, some pictures, and some text that backs up the 10 questions that we just went through. You can have testimonials for proof. You can go into frequently asked questions, which may actually answer some of the questions that are in those 10 questions. And there you have it. I mean, and in here, it's simple. So I'll go out of that was preview. If we select it, now you go in and you can now edit it. And let me give you some examples real quickly. So right away, you can just click on any of the elements and delete them. If you don't want them, just delete them. And here's the other cool part. I deleted that element. Remember, you got the back button up here. Oh crap, I didn't want to delete it. It's back. Oh yeah, I did want to delete it. Forward, gone. Right? You can modify that stuff. With video, after you upload a YouTube video, you click on the video itself. I'll go back a step. Click on the video. Click on configure. You go to your YouTube. I'll show you an example. youtube.com/Tom Beal. I'll pause this video that automatically starts. Okay, you click on videos. Like, so if you're at your channel, and as long as they're public, you can pick any video you want. This is an interview that I got interviewed a couple of days ago. That's a good one. So I go up to the top here. And now this code, after V equals, I copy that code. jump back into this page. I paste that code here, click update. Look at that. To edit the headline there, life-changing insights. Powerful video, powerful interview. On Beal, okay, boom. There's that. You see how easy this is. So I can close that. There you go. Learn more. So the button, configure. More from Tom. Link. Now what's that going to do? I'm going to go to URL. Watch this. I'm going to type http youtube.com/Tom Beal. I'll open a new tab. Update. Boom. So in these few seconds that we've done this, you saw how quickly I just went in here. I picked the template. I changed the headline. I added a video. I changed the URL. So now when they click on this button, they will go to youtube.com/Tom Beal. And then I can add in other stuff or delete all the stuff below, right? So if the goal is to get an opt-in, it's a whole different process, right? If the goal is to get an opt-in, now, first let me just save all this. And then if the goal is to get an opt-in, then I got to go to elements, bottom, I got to go to, I have active campaign or Aweber configured. So I'm going to go, I'm just going to pull Aweber right here. Right, so if I want to get rid of this, I mean, I could put, put whatever I want as far as text above this or whatever. There's my Aweber details. And now all I have to do is go here, configure it, integration, Aweber, pick the list that I want them to join. I'll do sales champion. Redirect link, I'll send them to YouTube. Oops. Update. Boom. So after people opt in, it's going to bring them to my YouTube channel just from what I did there, right? So you can see how simple and easy it is to take, let's just say this video went through all those, the big idea as well as the 10 questions. And then if I want them to opt in, I can opt in. If I want to have an order button, I could have an order button. This could be, I could move that up there and have that configured to be a button. Yes, I want this link. Now the link I would paste in a URL from GrooveCell, which would have my order details, which we could get into it's a whole different video training, but inside GrooveCell is where you have your order. You just copy and paste that URL, you click on that button, and it would take them to an order process. So now that you have Groove pages, you can take the training that we learned, go in here and implement it in minutes. And that's the simple part. So just want to show you what to do next is take this training, go rewatch it again when it's posted inside the Academy, take notes and map out what is your big idea and how can you answer all your questions, draft it up and record a video sales letter, write some copy for it, find all the elements that can be added, briefly. Like you can have copy that backs up the answers to those 10 questions here to complement the video, proof as far as testimonials there, answer frequently asked questions that back up the 10 questions. Between the video and the text, you're ready to go within a couple hours, right? So what do is you implement this. That's what you do. All right, so John, hit me with some questions. What do we got?
Actually, Tom, I do have a couple here that I've been answering one by one, but there's one can you load videos that are not on YouTube only? And is asked by Wolfgang Gruber.
I never have. I imagine there's possibly a way. I've yet to try it out. Let me go here, blocks. You see here, so blocks, forms, footers, features, content, elements, text, lists, buttons, media, image, YouTube videos, Vimeo videos. So we got YouTube video, Vimeo. So Vimeo, just drag this over here. If you have a Vimeo video, you can click here, configure it, and then you type in your Vimeo ID right there. Right now, that's with Vimeo. If you have other things like that, so you can go to blocks, content. Let's see here, footers, forms, navigation. No, I would go to elements, and I would scroll down, lists, buttons, media, form, devices, other, code embed. I would drag code embed over, and this is where if you had code of a video in outside of Vimeo or YouTube, you'd be able to embed that code here. It says if it's JavaScript, you do something different, right? But if inside here, if you have code from some other video player, you could embed your code here, is my guess. I've never done it, but you'd embed your code right in here, and that should play, right? But the two that are right here already are YouTube and Vimeo. You see that? So that's my answer to that question. Next question.
All right, let's see. Where do we have access recording to this presentation? And there's actually been asking a lot of people the same question. Ray Sims, later on tonight in our Facebook group, and I'm going to put the link for our Facebook group in the chat box so we all can see it. Around 11 p.m., the recording for this webinar, as always, on Thursdays and Tuesdays, every single webinar is recorded and put on our Facebook group so you all can see it. And also, as Tom is showing right now on his screen, we do have him in the Groove Digital Academy.
Yes, so yep, so great answer, John, thank you. And if you go to groovedigitalacademy.com, if you don't have an account yet, simply create a free account, just ask for a password and your email. And then I'm already logged in, so you just go to my library, and you're going to be able to access all the training. So the GrooveCart training, GrooveFunnels training, Groove Digital presents. So the GrooveFunnels training, click here, and webinar replays on demand right here. Webinar replays on demand. Here we go. So this was last week's, the week prior. So all the webinars are here following that process at groovedigitalacademy.com. Okay, any other questions?
Right now, we have, what if we don't have an automatic responder? Can you just go to your email?
An autoresponder, if you don't have an autoresponder, that's a good question. I think down the road, I think they're going to have some type of internal solution within the Groove system, but right now there are methods to where you can get creative, right? So here's a creative way. So for instance, if I were to go here and say, simply click the button to email me. I go to this button and I go to configure and email me here. Link, I would go URL and I would go mail to tom@tombeal.com. And I think if it's a question mark, would put curious or whatever text you want. Let me see what happens here. So if you do that, and if I click save and publish, host site with us, test 22, publish. So now if I go to test 22, I scroll down to this email me here, it's going to pop up my email and it's going to send me oh, I didn't do the subject right. There's a way to do it with where it automatically populates a subject. But if you just do mail to and then your email address, that's one way to get around it, if that made sense. Right? So all I did there was, there's a way to do it. I haven't done it in forever, but there is a way where you can actually type it to where it will automatically populate the subject. Oh, it might, I think you have to put subject equals or something. I don't know. But if you Google it, you'll figure out a way to do it. But all you do is do mail to : your email address. When they click on that button, they'll send an email literally to you. So if you don't have an autoresponder, you can get people to interact with you, or you can send them to URLs that you want them to go to. So the URL, like if I go to http youtube.com/Tom Beal, update, save, publish, and I didn't change the text. I would have changed the text. Check me out. I changed that. Now it's going to open up. No, I have to refresh. Don't save. Refresh. Okay, I did something. Oh, I don't know. I did something wrong. Go back here. Configure. Check my subscribe to my YouTube channel here. Update, save, publish. Okay. There it goes. Now, a little hint. Let me show you here. So let me grab something real quick. So I'm going to do something, youtube.com/Tom Beal. Okay. This is going to be cool. All right, I'm going to type this into the chat. Where is it? So if you go, how do I chat here? All right, here we go. This tip. All right, so if you have a YouTube channel, see what I put after mine? Click on that. I'll show you what happens. So instead of just going to your normal channel, let me show you what happens here. If you do that, what I just sent to you in the chat, watch what happens. Confirm channel subscription. Look at that. Yes, subscribe. So you can tell people to go subscribe. When they click on the link, it's going to automatically have that thing pop up to have them subscribe to your channel. And all I did, so no matter what your YouTube channel is, look at the little chat I sent you. youtube.com/Tom Beal is mine. You do the question mark and then sub_confirmation = 1 makes that pop-up occur. Let me show you one more time. So if you have a YouTube channel, do that question mark sub confirmation = 1, and then this pops up. And guess what that's going to do? More people, especially if you preface it and tell them when you're there, be sure to subscribe. Make sense? Give me a 7 if that makes sense for you. All right. All right. Perfect. 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 8. Steven. I think Steven likes busting on me. Okay. All right. Cool. 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 Cool YouTube tip. Yeah, that's a pretty neat one. And so, and then when you're sending emails, if you're sending emails to your channel or whatever, you can customize your channel, and the video plays automatically that's on your channel. So all you have to do is go there and then edit which channel you want, or I'm sorry, which video you want. And so you can pick whichever one is there, and whichever one you select is going to be the one that shows up, and you get to pick for returning subscribers and for new subscribers. Generally, I do both. And what I'll do is I'll send people there using that question mark, that confirmation equals 1, so that people grow. It grows my YouTube channel subscribers. All right, so that's a neat little trick there as well. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I shared with you what I think is a very, very powerful training today. I hope you enjoyed this. And more importantly, I hope you go utilize this, the 10 questions. So the big idea and the 10 questions. Let me switch back over to sharing. I'm going to switch it back over to the slides. Keynote. All right. So, I mean, what was discussed was literally $100 million formula that this person who didn't even speak English a few years ago, in 2 years, was able to write copy that generated over $100 million. You know, and that copy included videos and included text and included, you know, all of the copy elements. But he shared his process with you. I shared it in this training, and you know, if you only get 1% of what he did by following that process, it's life-changing stuff. So I would recommend you go into Groove Digital Academy, rewatch this with your pen and paper. If you don't, if you got great notes already, go through, implement it, draft out a video sales letter, draft out what your one belief is, answer the questions of the 10 different questions, get thinking about it, draft up something. Doesn't have to be perfect right off the bat, but draft something up, get it out there, go into your GrooveFunnels, set something up real quickly, and get it tested. Get it out to the marketplace, provide some value, have the belief in your company, belief in your product, belief in your service, knowing that you can help people out there looking for the desired outcome that you can provide to them. And I'm looking forward to hearing your feedback. So that's it for today's training. Jonathan, any other questions before we call it an evening?
Yeah, we do have one. We have actually a couple of questions that I'm trying to address. They're more technical questions, but one that pointed out a couple of things about the functionality of Groove Pages and Groove Card. And one of the question was, can we add code, or can we just connect Groove Pages to Groove Card? And
oh no, they're two separate. Groove Pages is separate from Groove Cart. Groove Cart has its own page builder inside of it.
Correct. Yes. And if you don't mind jumping in just for 30 seconds, the only way that you can actually connect somehow the actual pages that you create is if you create a product and you bring the code for that product and you put it in your Groove Pages to actually just promote that if you have a landing page, which I'll probably take that as a segue to invite everybody that are interested in how the functionalities might work to come or to a Groove Card training on Thursdays. So take a look at that next Thursday. We're going to be having a great challenge and a great course this week, actually.
Cool, cool. And I see a question, what's FOMO? So Joseph, FOMO is fear of missing out. People have a fear of missing out. I see all the thank yous. You're welcome. The best way to prove your thanks is to go implement it and get some results. We're here to help guide you and get you life-changing results. So I'm glad you appreciated the training, and the best way to pay us back is to go rock it and you know, show us the results that come from putting it to action. All right, Jhon, thank you for being here, answering those questions in the background. As he mentioned, join him on some trainings coming up this Thursday. And other than that, y'all have a great day and make me, Jhon, and the whole GrooveFunnels family proud. Go implement this. This will be in the recording. The recording will be inside Groove Digital Academy and will be posted inside the Facebook group within a few hours. So if you got in late, which I see some people did, the replay will be up and ready for you inside Groove Digital Academy and the Facebook group soon. Thank you all for being here this evening. Go make us proud. Go implement this, and we'll chat with you next time. The same time, same channels next week, 6 p.m. Eastern time on Tuesday. And Jhon does the Groove cart training on Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern as well. All right. Chat with y'all soon. Make today great. Bye for now. Have a great one, Jhon.
Bye, everyone. And thank you for joining us tonight, and see you next week. Have a great day.
Perfect.